Hello and welcome to part 2 of Super Bomberman 3. I'm Shadow Warrior Luke.
And I'm Red Silvers.
So today we're taking on planet Firestorm, which, as you can probably guess from the name, is a volcano world.
So you gotta have a fire world.
Of course. So the enemies here aren't too much more difficult, but as we've just seen, the living blocks are a bit more noticeable. They don't actually trigger until you get really close or try to blow them up, which does prove a bit difficult for me later on when I believe I lose my Louie in this, and not intentionally. But most of the other enemies aren't too difficult in this area. Oh, and I know I mentioned there was 2 sectors from stage 1-3 on, but obviously I was wrong.
You always notice stuff like that after you made the comment.
Yeah. So the ice cream gives you 1,000 points, and I should mention the points actually. For 10,000 points you get an extra life, and then for every 20,000 points afterwards. So I've just passed 30,000 points, so I got an extra life. And here we have the Green Louie, who I consider one of the better ones. He's got the ability to dash across the screen.
And he's an awesome shade of green.
That too. So the chip colour for this one is red, which I suppose just makes sense.
Yes, it does, and red is awesome.
Ah, I see what you did there. Okay, so it's here we start getting into some of the more difficult enemies, like the fireball who sets off a bunch of other fireballs. If you're not careful, that can end up killing you. And there's also an area damage effect that we've just seen, which is the volcano setting off fireballs.
Now, do the fireballs affect your bombs? Like, can they make your bombs go off earlier or anything like that?
Yeah, and so can the... Wait, are you talking about the volcano or the fireball?
Either one. I just picture these fire enemies like setting off bombs early.
Yeah, both of them can actually. We're just past the part where you saw that happen with one of the fireballs.
That's actually kind of clever, actually.
Yeah. Although a bit annoying when you're trying to get away from the bomb.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one thing that's nice about this is when you blow up an exit door, it doesn't trigger more enemies like it did in past Bomberman games.
So we were actually talking earlier, and you mentioned this one did not come out in the US, so I wouldn't have had a chance to play this one.
No, it was only the first 2 that came out in the US, as well as the one for the Mega Drive, and I think the TurboGrafx ones. This one's actually based on, I believe, Bomberman 94.
I know we got the Wario one.
Yeah.
That as near as I know, they just reskinned Wario as something.
Something like that, yeah. Now those weird dinosaurs making the strange face,
it was a ghost!
Yeah. When they go invisible like that, bombs won't actually hurt them. A little bit annoying. But in the next stage, I'll be getting something that will completely negate that problem.
Do they do that on a timer, or are they just random with it?
It can be random. At least I don't think it's timed.
But he blows up in fiery death anyway.
Serves him right.
Is that the first time you got to an end of a stage and had enemies alive?
I think it might be.
I just don't think I've seen the enemies all burst into death like that at the end.
Yeah. Well, in the Mega Drive version, when you beat the level, any of the remaining blocks changed into coins, and you could use them to increase your score, if I remember right.
And of course, there's a railway system in the mine, in the volcano.
Oh well, of course, why not? We're in Donkey Kong country now.
Because who wants a bad minecart minigame?
It's actually not so bad in this. Best part is if an enemy's on the track, it'll insta-kill them. And it'll also run over any beacons that are in the way.
Okay, that actually was pretty cool.
I think I just end up trying to spam it to kill off all the enemies.
Blam! And the fireballs from those little volcanoes don't hurt you.
No, they're just
While
an
you're in
area
it.
effect. It's only the final stage you have to worry about something like that affecting you.
Okay. I totally thought it was going to be like a timing puzzle. You had to weave your way through them just right.
No, they're not quite that sadistic. So I suppose I should mention the music again. This is another remix from Super Bomberman. It's the second stage.
And remember, when you find ice cream in a volcano at room temperature, of course it's safe to eat it for points.
Well, why not? And I very nearly took a hit from the moving block there. But
He's trying
he
to
goes
be all
down like
sneaky.
that. Yep.
Did
And
you
I
just
took-
destroy your item that was there?
Yeah. You can blow up items if you aren't careful with where you place your bombs and don't pick them up. That's why I was a bit cautious back in the first video with the extra life. I was trying to figure a way to get the extra life and destroy the enemy but not destroy the extra life before picking it up.
I didn't even see when you lost your Louie.
Oh yeah, it was one of the living blocks that took it down. Which, very nice of them.
At least you're not having to aim like a seed gun while you're on the minecart or anything silly like that.
True.
And that's a subtle reference to your first LP. That's still never finished.
Ah, yes.
That's okay though.
One day.
I have video evidence of LPs I never finished too, so.
Right. So I got another fireproof jacket, and I had to stop because I've now just completely broke the game. These are the remote bombs. You set them down, you press the B button, and you can set them off whenever you like.
Is there a limit to how many you can have?
It's the limit. It's how many bombs you've picked up. So, say I've picked up 8 bombs, I'll be able to use 8 of them.
And you pretty much just come back to this stage and get those anytime you want now.
Yep. The game's based on a password system as well, so if you get a game over, just use the passwords that's given to you there, and
Please tell me it's not 32 digits and upper and lowercase.
No, this is not the Guardian Legends or Castlevania or one of those. It's a 4-digit number. There's actually a password that takes you right to the ending cutscene as well.
There's actually a password like that for Cool World. It's a button combination. It just takes you to the ending credits.
Ah.
Not like an ending, but just the credits.
No, this one has an actual ending that it'll take you to. Remote bombs. And
I wonder if you could count that as speed run.
Yeah. Do you see the rock monster that just blew up?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one can actually eat your bombs. So if you don't have remote bombs and you try to set one too close, it can be a bit difficult to actually kill it.
But he can't eat these ones?
You can eat them, but generally you'll be able to set them off when you need to.
Oh, okay.
The red button there changes the path of the minecart. Which, for what at the moment, is just a bit useless. The P-bomb is honestly quite useless as well at this point. That sets off the first bomb as a maximum firepower bomb. But the rest of them are just regular bombs. So it'll overwrite the remote bombs.
Is this a different Louis that you have?
Yes, this is the brown Louis. What that one can do is set bombs off in a line, which I demonstrated earlier.
Okay, yeah, I saw it, but I didn't know if that was something special.
Yeah, that was an actual item in the Mega Drive version. And the brown Louis was a purple Louis, and the purple Louis was the one that was capable of jumping.
And I'm kind of curious how long you're going to keep these bombs.
Till the end of the game.
It really is an I win button, isn't it?
Pretty much. You should see how I completely... Well, you will see with the final boss just how badly they break it. Although, it did take a few tries to actually get to the final boss, but I'll talk a bit more about that when we get to it. And of course the bat decides to come down and follow me.
Oh, he can take the off-screen passages too, huh?
Yeah.
Got some Pac-Man stuff going on in here.
That's a similar premise as a grid-based maze. Instead of eating things, you blow them up.
This actually looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. I've actually only played this one, the Game Boy Advance one, and the first Super Nintendo one, and the Mega Drive one. And a couple of the N64 ones as well.
I know they did a horrible, reboot or something. Like Bomberman Zero.
Oh, Act Zero, yeah.
And it looks like a Mega Man reject.
Yeah. So this boss has two different styles of attack. We've got the robotic arms, which they'll fire out and basically pull a Sledge Brothers on you. As in you won't be able to move.
He was flickering for a bit there too. Was he invincible?
Yeah. When he takes damage, he gets some mercy invincibility. Much longer than you'd get if you took a hit.
Yeah, that's a long time to be flashing.
And he seems to like doing the Sledge Brothers attack.
He just grew an extra arm. He didn't even get his own arm back.
Yeah. But that's that one down. So, thank you for watching.
Have a good night.